Hello, everybody. I am Mira, and tonight we're doing an introduction of the Munay-Ki. Now, the Munay-Ki is a very powerful and ancient way of healing. It comes from the Quechua people in Peru, and they're in the Andes, and they've lived there way before Jesus was born. 900 years before Christ, they've been there. So they, for a long time, lived in the Andes, in the mountains, secluded from a lot of the things that were happening in the world. So they have kept their rights, they have kept their beliefs all these years from mouth to mouth. They believe that everything is energy, just like we do. They believe that everything is intent, just like we do. And they use energy for healing, and they use energy to draw out anything that's negative in a person's life, and they use energy to balance. They believe that everything has polarity. So just like there are good people, there are bad people. Well, in other words, people that have different or opposing faiths, opposing beliefs, opposing ways of being. So there's always going to be a polarity, according to the Quero or Checho people. Okay. Now, what do you know so far, or what you have read, or what you have heard about Munay-Ki? I'd like to know just how much everybody knows. A little bit, maybe? No? No? Okay. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna teach you what are the 9 rites. And tonight we are going to initiate you into the healer's rite of the Munay-Ki. The healer's rite will help you connect to the ancient people of all the healers of the Quero nation and the healers in your ancestry, so that you can have them guide you. The rites are like a seed that is placed inside your chakras. And most rites will have 3 chakras or 2 chakras that we work on. And that seed is up to us to grow it. And we grow it with a fire ceremony. Okay, and all of that is going to be understood by the end of this class. And if there are any questions along the way, you can answer. Behind me is Ellie. She's doing her homework, and I accepted for her to be here because the energy of tonight is so beautiful. It's okay for her to be around. Any questions so far? No. So I'm just going to jump into sharing my screen so that you can, let me just, before I share my screen, be sure that I'm in the first slide. Okay. And before we start, I would like to make some of you co-hosts in case you see someone come in late that you can let them in. I may not be able to see them. And if anybody writes something on the chat and I don't see it, please interrupt me and tell me this person has written a question so that I can answer. Is that okay with everybody? Okay, awesome. Okay, Claudia Nieves, you're gonna be a co-host. Connie. Sally, we're all going to be co-hosts because I don't want to leave anybody out. And I know that Ali and Claudia are not on the camera, but just in case they're around and they can help, they're here. There, you can help also. Okay, so everybody's co-host now. Okay. Let me know when you see it. We're good? Yes, we see it? Okay. Okay, so the objective tonight is so that you understand the belief of the Quero people. And they do have a belief that everything in our lives is we can access outside of time. So, you know, all of you who are Reiki practitioners know, or at least practitioners number 2, level 2, you know that we can access our past and we can access our future. Well, the Quero people believe this too for centuries. Today, well, you're also going to learn some of the tools that the shamanic priests and priestesses practice in the Andes. And we're going to attune you to the healer's right. Now, we're not going to be able to pass this right to others. That was my objective when I first did this PowerPoint. But as I was reading and getting more into it, I recognized what they said is first you have to have all 9 rights of the Munay-Ki, that you have seeded them into your chakras, and then you can start learning how to pass it on to others. Simply let experience take place very freely so that you open your heart, and your heart is suffused with the tenderness of true compassion. So I wanted to know what you think this means. To let experience take place, open your heart to truth compassion. Open up the mics and tell me what you think this means to you.
Let everything flow freely. Let it come to you as it.
So being mindful of what's around you, but just letting everything flow.
Flow
Now
freely to you, yes.
And letting everything flow is a feminine aspect, right? It's part of the divine feminine aspect. So allowing, right? Opening your heart, being compassionate. That's all feminine, very feminine. So the Munay-Ki has a lot of feminine aspects to it, but it does strive to balance out both masculine and feminine energies. So we're going to, we have 4 different, I would say, different parts to tonight. The first part is the introduction, where you'll get to understand what we're going to be doing. In the second part, I will explain to you how to create sacred medicine space, Munay-Ki style. And the third part of it, you're going to learn about fire ceremony. And that's important because the fire ceremony is necessary in order to grow your seeds, the seeds that I was telling you about. And the fourth is actually doing the initiation tonight. So the first part, the introduction, what you're going to learn is what it is, what Munay-Ki is, and you're going to learn what each of the 9 rites are. Anybody curious about the 9 rites? Yeah. Show one hand. You curious? Yeah. Okay. So why do I bring Munay-Ki to the Enchantress, to the Priestess, to the red tent? What is so big about it? So they are going to connect us to our inner power, our intuition even more. and they help us to heal ourselves and transform our own lives. Because if we heal, if we transform our lives, we can help others too, to transform and to heal. And it is a very transformative spiritual practice. It does come from the mountains in Peru. The meaning of Munay-Ki. Munay means I love you. And Ki, as you know, is energy, just like Chi, just like Prana, just like Reiki. So Munay means I love you, and Ki is energy. And I put on here that Quechua is a language originated from the indigenous people of Peru. The Munay-Ki was brought to the Western world by Dr. Alberto Villoldo. He went to the Amazon and he worked over there for more than 25 years. He lived near the Andes in a village under and in between the mountains. And he made friends with the Quechua people and medicine men of the Cuero Inca Nation. And he became a really good friend of one of the last priest, Don Manuel Quispe. He is Dr. Alberto Villoldo's teacher, and he is still alive. And the reason he brought it is he asked permission for many years, and they would say no, not to bring it, that we were not ready to receive the teachings of the Munay-Ki. And now we are. And Dr. Villoldo brought it to us. And those of us who take this initiation, it is because we are called to it, and it is because we are ready for it. So this is nice, good to understand here is he brought it in the hopes of steering humanity's course away from destruction and toward a more meaningful relationship with the natural order, so that we would become more conscious. Alberto Villoldo's quote, "The Munay-Ki is your invitation to dream an entire new world into being." I want you to look at this picture. They live in the mountains, so they need to wear very thick clothing. Their clothing is colorful. They bring joy wherever they go. Look at what they call the mesa in front of them. That's like a tablecloth laid out or a sheet laid out. And do you see the packets in front of them? Okay, those packets are tightly wrapped, and inside them are their spiritual tools. Just like a doctor in the West might take a suitcase with all his important medical things, a priest from the Munay-Ki world will bring one of these packets with them, or three, and those, they don't hardly ever open them when they're doing any kind of ceremony. Their spiritual tools are in there. And these tools are used for healing, for balancing the energies, and for removing thoughts or things in a person's life that is not not for their highest good. Did I see somebody's hand up? Okay.
No, but I want to share something.
Yeah.
So I've been like you, I have been following Alberto Villoldo for years about the luminescence body and all this stuff and all the teachings from him, and the four winds and everything that he's been teaching through his now company. But I met in person one of his pupils. Dr. Willix, I met him in person. He was my medical director, even though he was an MD cardiologist, and he switched his cardiologist skills to functional medicine. But then I met the other side of him because he learned with Dr. Villaldo in Peru, and he was doing fire ceremonies here in West Palm Beach, and I attend to 2 of them in person. So, yeah. So
tell us a little bit about those fire ceremonies.
Oh, well, the fire ceremony. Well, he mainly will call the 4
archetypes.
Yeah, archetypes, and then he will, mention in each corner the animals that correspond to each side. And he will call to the elements, right, as well. But in the fire ceremony, everybody will have 2 sticks. No, it will be 1 stick for each person as a personal, letting go and receiving something personal, like a wish. You let it go and a wish. And then it would be a big stick that everybody pass it around, and it was for the world. It was to have a wish for the world. So it was a big circle. Everybody had a small stick, and then everybody pass around the big stick, and he will burn the big stick at the end. What each person will be in the 4 corners, and each person one at a time will burn their own stick in the fire. That's the way how it was done in that space. So yeah, I just wanted to share that. And 2, because Claudia and I, when we went to Peru, we had some permission to, like what they call, like asking permission to the land. So it was like an opening ceremony with all the gifts that they put inside. They make a beautiful paper with different elements inside, like food and sugar, and they put all the elements to offer to the land, and they wrap it up in a special way with a special fabric, like the ones that you saw in the table there, that you put in the table, and and then it's passed. The eldest person receive it and hold it in the chest, and she's the person who passes it. It goes from everybody around the circle, and then the elder person, the oldest, hold it at the end, and is the one who put it in the fire and offer it to the land. So that's and then 2, like we hold the quintos. The quintos are the 3 leaves from the coca leaves. They put them in 3, and you blow wishes and different prayers to the quintos, and then those 2 we burn them in the fire as well. So yeah, there's different things that I experienced in person. So I just want to share that.
Beautiful. In Peru, they have a Pachamama Day, and they do rituals to Pachamama that are so beautiful, a lot like what you're mentioning, where they give back to the earth. And it's like that, where they have a huge, like mesa with all kinds of foods, and they give it to the earth.
Yeah, this was the experience that I had, the quintos. And then we hike in a mountain too, to ask prayers. We pray for 3 hours. It was freezing cold under medicine, Wachuma medicine. And we hike, and then we were there for 3 hours until the sun was going down. It was really cold, but it was around the fire. And then same thing, we had to do all the prayers and to the apus. So the apus are the mountains, right? And the mountains, they say, because they have so many crystals underneath, and then all comes directly from the stars, or directly from the astrology, right? So directly all that information comes to the earth and is stored in the crystal that is underneath of the apus. So yeah. Thank you.
That's so beautiful. I mean, the Cuervo people have been very aligned to the cosmic brothers and sisters. And they recognize that there are other humans that live in other stars. So They don't pray to them. They just see them as brothers and sisters from other galaxies. So I really align to that. Okay, thank you for that. Anybody have any questions for Claudia? No? Okay. So the roots of Munay-Ki are in the initiation rites of the shamans and the Bagos. These are the Quero priests and practitioners, which have been practiced for hundreds and hundreds of years, millennia. The practices of these people are the closest we will get to knowing Incan medicine practices, because they do come from the Incan people. And the Incan people had different beliefs, and they had different nations or cities, let's say colonies within their nation. And the Quero people, they lived in the mountains where other Incans didn't. So before we start on Munay-Ki, these are the things we need to know, or at least that would help us to effectively become attuned to these rites. So knowing the 7 primary chakras, which all of you already know, feeling the aura or seeing it, feeling or seeing the aura of energy of living things, and practicing truth testing. So let me stop sharing a second. For those of you who are priestesses and you haven't gone over truth testing or going over some of the other things, I have you, I'm going to remove you as pinned, Claudia. I want to do a very simple thing. I would like for all of you to close your eyes. Now, place your hands in a prayer position. With your eyes closed, open them a little bit so there's space between your 2 hands. And I want you to feel the energy that's between them, that warmth that you feel between the hands, that is energy. Feel it, feel the warmth, see how it gets a little bit hotter when you are actually intently thinking about it, being conscious of it. Now, bring both arms up over your head and put them together in prayer position. And do the same thing over your head so that you feel the warmth between your hands. Now open it a little bit more where you still feel the warmth, but it's not so hot and you're still feeling it. Now imagine that this is a ball over your head. And with one hand, you're holding the ball like this, holding the ball. And the other hand, with the index finger, you're going to touch in between the ball. When you feel the energy there, that is your aura. Then bring it down back to your prayer position. Now I want you to do that over your heart. Place one hand like a ball and the other hand like an index finger, and touch in between and feel the energy of the heart chakra. That is your aura. It is also the chakra of over your head, the eighth chakra, and the heart chakra that you just felt. You can open your eyes. So knowing your energy, being able to recognize where your aura is. If you're a Reiki practitioner, you probably already have had somebody lay down and have checked to see where their aura is, so you could feel the warmth of them and their aura where it is. You can tell, if you do this, which chakra needs a little bit of balancing. If you need to go really deep to be able to feel it, you need a little more energy there. Usually the chakras have you're able to just, when you're holding it, just put it in front and you're feeling already the warmth and the energy there. Okay. Truth testing is, do all of you know truth testing? Claudia, do you? I can't see you.
The testing?
Truth testing, yeah.
Yeah, I don't do the truth testing.
Okay. Truth testing is one of the things that we want as Munay-Ki practitioners to keep doing often, because it helps us to grow our intuition and to see the aura of others. It is the first step to be able to start seeing auras. One of the ways that you can learn to see a person's aura is by not focusing, but actually relaxing your eyes next to somebody's aura. So not at their face, but in their aura. So you relax your eyes. Like, you can try looking at me and relax your eyes, and first look right in between my eyes and then move slowly until you're like around here, and see what color you might see of my aura. And you may not see it tonight. You may be able to after a few weeks of practice. But this is something you can do to learn to see the aura. When you do all 9 rites and you start teaching others or giving the rites to others, and you're working and growing these seeds, you are going to have more possibilities of seeing other people's auras. And seeing other people's auras that are important. Why? Why do you think that is? Somebody.
Because you get to hone in on how they're feeling
You
or where
do.
they need healing.
And as Munay-Ki practitioners, priestesses, enchantresses, spiritual mentors, we can know when a person's chakra needs more support. We can do different meditations with them to see and help them to recognize which chakra needs more support. But if we can see their aura, we are then able to, without even going through any meditation or going through any exercise or activity, it's just looking at them and knowing. And that really makes a difference in your practice. Okay. Okay, so far, any questions? Okay. So there are 9 rites of passage. And we're going to talk about them, what they are. They will bring you into balance, into a relationship within yourself, where you're able to recognize when there is an imbalanced chakra, and it encourages in your life the key Incan attributes of wisdom, love, and living in service to others. So love for yourself and others, and service to others. These rites also help us to inform our luminous energy field, the aura, the energy field around us. When our aura is informed with these rites, you are able to feel things around you without having to think about or seeing. So your aura, your energy will be able to tell when you walk into a room, when you see a person, when someone's telling you a lie. You're going to be able to get things that people in 3D, people who live in the 3D world and not conscious of energy work are not able, they're able to, but they haven't gotten to that point yet. Do you have any questions so far? Okay, so these are the 9 rites. We have them in 3 different categories. The first 4 rites are the foundation rites. And tonight we're going to do the healer's rite. The second is called the bands of power. With the bands of power, you are putting different colors of ribbons around your body, around your chakras for protection. So just like you have protection with your angels, with your spiritual animals, with your prayers, you can have this type of protection too, which is always with you without having to reprogram it. The third one is harmony rite, and it's what the word means. It's a balance of all your chakras, but it also brings harmony outside of you, wherever you go. And the fourth is the seer's rite, and it brings you closer to those before you that were seers to guide you so that you can be a seer as well. The second part is the lineage rites. In the lineage rites, we do get, we call in spirits, ancestors, earth keepers, cosmic brothers and sisters, but especially the Quero people ancestors who can help us to be of service in this world, and being of service for the earth itself, being in service for others, being in service for our family, for just many, many different things. And the third part is the rites to come. And those are Starkeeper's Rite and the Creator Rite. With the Starkeeper's Rite, you're even closer to becoming more and more one with the earth, and being open to recognizing how we are all one in the Creator Rite. So what happens when we do these rites? They are beautiful ceremonies. Look, notice how in this picture, the packets are closed also. Notice how he is breathing onto them, because breath has our energy, and we are going to use our breath for our initiation. So there's ancient knowledge that is being downloaded to these rites And when we take in these rites, this knowledge is brought to us in a form of an energy seed that we get to grow. And it helps to progress our spirit. It is an upgrade for our evolution. The Quero believe that the rites exist outside of time, as I've said before, so that what you need, be it from the past or from the future, can be accessed now. Indeed, there are some who believe that downloading these rites is an important step in human evolution to us becoming Homo luminous. And there's been prophecies about this, about the ancient Americas showing up in the Western world and appearing these rites and these beliefs appearing in the Western world. Persons of wisdom and power who live free of fear and abide in their eternal nature, the Homo luminous nature that we all have. We have the luminous energy field. We are Homo luminous, but we can be even more evolved when we do these types of ceremonies and download this information in physically into our body. Whatever you believe, to feel directly connected to a tradition of love and brotherhood or sisterhood is a very special experience and often proves surprisingly emotional. People get emotional. In modern Western culture, we have lost so many of the rites of passage that our ancestors routinely undertook that it is easy to feel disconnected from one another. In these rites of passage, you will feel connected to each other, you will feel connected to yourself, and you will feel connected to your ancestry and to other people and spirits that have been helping you and guiding you along this path in your life. So I'm going to talk about the first 4 foundation rites, which, by the way, the healer's rite that we're doing tonight, even though it doesn't show up as a lineage rite in the parts, the healer's rite is also a lineage rite because it calls upon your ancestors too. It is also called the Hampi blessing, and it comes from the Highland Quero people. The healer's rite activates our ability to positively affect the people and world around us. How does it do that? Because by us receiving this seed that is very positive, it starts to grow within us and our energy starts to change, and us being the example to others, it affects those around us positively. The healer's rite also connects us to the lineage of earth keepers from the past who assist us in our personal healing. It heals wounds of the past and our ancestral line during meditation and sleep time. That is, I think, the biggest part for me, although all 3 are important, because we never know how our ancestors lived and what type of traumas they died with and passed on to us, what kind of wounds they had. And the healer's rite heals these wounds. So when we're doing the healer's rite tonight, when we're bringing in the ancestors that are benevolent and that are healthy and that are healed into our being and into our world, we are going to be bringing in the good, those who are healed, so that they can help heal the ones that are not healed, the ones that are traumatized, that didn't pass away in a good way, or that brought us trauma from their ancestry, from their life, and unknown to us. And Therefore, we're helping ourselves, our children, and our ancestry. So we're connecting to our whole lineage, as well as the lineage of earth keepers from the past. It also awakens the healer within you because you're getting healed and your ancestors are getting healed. So imagine healing your ancestors. How could you not become a healer too when all of it is being worked on at the same time? Any questions on the healers, right? And we're going to go back to it before we do the initiation tonight, but if you have any questions now, I'll be glad to answer. Okay, the second rite is called the bands of power. And we put 5 luminous belts that are woven into our energy field, our luminous energy field, and there are protective bands of power. So pretty much what each one represents are here in this slide. So when we do the bands of power, we work with earth, water, fire, wind, and light. And we are connecting to these colors that you see here, black, red, yellow, blue, and white. And we're connecting to these elements when we are bringing in these bands of power. Once you do rite number 2, the bands of power rite, you have this protection around you all the time. And so you will have the protection of the elements. And your chakras are informed on how to protect yourself. The third rite is called the harmony rite. It is a transmission of the 7 archetypes into the chakras. And we're going to learn the 7 archetypes tonight. It helps you combust the psychic sludge that builds up in your chakras so that your chakras can shine with their original light as you acquire a rainbow body. So you have already become a healer. You have already had your bands of power. And then on rite 3, in the harmony rite, you're bringing these archetypes into your chakras, and you'll see who they are today, the 4 animals and the 3 spirits. And they are welcomed into your energy fields, into your chakras, to help you grow and get rid of any sludge, anything psychic, anything that doesn't belong in your chakra body. The 4th rite is the seer's rite. The seer's rite is practiced in many different forms among the North Coast peoples of Peru and by the seers and trackers of the Amazon. Extracerebral pathways of light are installed that connect the visual cortex to the back with the 3rd eye and the heart chakra. So we're working from the visual cortex to the 3rd eye and to the heart chakra, and it becomes a circle where it awakens you to the invisible world, to the spirit world. This is not something to be scared of. We are not looking at dead spirits that are going to come at you. We are looking at the spirit world in a different context than what maybe the Western world sees it. We're looking at the invisible world when it's needed. When somebody comes to you with a problem and you recognize that they have a spirit guide next to them, or that they have their actual soul has some sludge in it, and you get to work on that, being able to see outside of the 3D. Then comes the second level, the second part, and those are called the lineage rites. They connect us to the medicine people who have come before us and establish the recognition of the spiritual journey that we have undertaken. These medicine people were aware of their ability to impact those around them through their touch or through just being present. Lineage rites connect us to those that came before and allow us to receive the support and assistance of the healers of all time, past and future. Notice that in the healer's rite of tonight, we're going to be connected to our ancestors. But then there's these other three: day keepers, wisdom keeper, and earth keepers. In the day keepers rite, this rite helps you begin to heal your inner feminine divine and step beyond fear and practice peace. The day keepers rite is all about peace, and it's all about healing that feminine side of you. The sixth rite, the wisdom keeper's rite, is the other side of the coin. It helps you to heal your masculine side. And it helps you to step outside of time so that you are now becoming aware that you can be in other past or future, in other times. And you can have a taste of what infinity looks like, or where you can be anywhere. The seventh rite is the Earth Keeper's rite. And this one connects you to the galaxy, to the guardians of the galaxy, the archangels. And this one's so beautiful. You know, me and the angels. I love this one. Then comes the last two. They're called the rites to come, and the Star Keepers and the Creator's rite. The Star Keeper's rite anchors and keeps you safely to the time after the great change that was foretold in 2012. Our physical body begins to evolve into Homo luminous. So the Star Keeper's rite really hones in to your luminous body. There is some talk about how your DNA also begins to transform when you're in this rite and you start to grow its seed. So there's that. The Creator's rite is more about earth keeping, about being the steward of all of creation. All of it, meaning the smallest grain to even the clusters of galaxy in the universe that we haven't even been aware of. So being a steward of all creation, recognizing that we are a fragment of the Creator and that all of it is part of us and that we are part of it, and being its steward, taking care of the fly, taking care of the flower, taking care of the human next door, taking care of Earth. John Denver says, love the earth as you would love yourself. Any questions on the 9 rites? Do you want me to go back to any of them?
Well, know about this, but this is the thing that you're gonna be offering next year. The whole
the whole thing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And how long is the?
It's 6 months. And then after the 6 months, I'm going to teach everybody whenever they are able to, how to give it to others, because it's 6 months to receive it. But then, you know, to give it to others is separate, and I'm going to do it free of charge after you're done with it. So it'll be more like probably monthly for the next 6 months. Or 3 months, depending on how fast we can go. Because I want to teach all of my Munay-Ki students how to offer it to other people.
Okay.
Did that answer your question?
Well, yeah, I just gotta sit with this and the facilitator training. So, yeah.
Okay. So now we did the introduction. There's 4 sections to this class. This is the second section. In this section, you're going to learn a little bit about the Munay-Ki tools that we use and the archetypes that we're going to call on to open medicine space. These are the archetypes that we also bring into our energy body in one of the rites. Okay, so as a Munay-Ki healer, when you go into a Munay-Ki class, your priest or priestess or your instructor will gift you a small circular stone called a pi stone. The pi stone has a hole in the middle that's also known as a torus. Looks like a donut, 3-dimensional donut. These are a representation of your spiritual body and the energy universe and the energy that the universe has to offer. So it's your body with the energy of Reiki, the energy of Ki, the energy of the universe, all in one. A Python depicts your light and brilliant energy field symbolically. A pi stone serves as a portal, a trans-dimensional gateway to the energies you are tapping to when you're using these rites to transmit the Munay-Ki. And you will see a little later how the pi stone is used for intentionally to create these rites for others. The pi stone can also be seen as representing the Ouroboros, the serpent of light which swallows its own tail, constantly creating itself in the form of a circle. The Ouroboros symbolizes the eternal unity of all things, the cycle of life, death, and rebirth. In this context, the center of the pi stone represents our energetic spine and the energy which flows through the center of our bodies. There is yet a further connection to be made with our own spiraling DNA, the building blocks of life. So the way that we activate a pi stone, and today we don't have pi stones, but just so you know, if you do come to the Munay-Ki class, we will activate it. Tonight, instead of a pi stone, if you have a crystal, a stone, go ahead, Ali.
I have a question. Is this the same thing as a hag stone? Is it a hag stone? The one Marissa has?
No, I don't think so.
Where do you find the pi stones?
You can order them online. But
okay.
but if you're gonna do the Munay-Ki, I will gift it to you in class.
Okay, because I have something that has a hole in it, but it's not like a circle.
It's not then. It's not. It's
okay.
not. For a long time, in the beginning of the Munay-Ki class, I thought that this was gonna be okay because it has a square in the middle, it has a little hole, but it's not a pi stone. This is made out of copper. It's not a crystal. It's not a stone, and it has a square, not a circle. So it doesn't keep the energy in the same way. The pi stone has your energy within it, and it connects you to the universe and to your intention with the universe's energy. So it is vital to have as a Munay-Ki practitioner. Tonight, you don't need it. You can use a stone, any stone will do. And what you're going to do is you're going to activate your stone. Does everybody have a stone tonight? If you have it, get it out. Get it out and then light an incense.
Will you give us a few minutes before to get everything? Because I didn't get it.
Look, well, I'd like for you to, if you could, right now, go and get your
Okay.
stone.
Give me
Go
a
get your
second.
stones. Yeah, let's give it a minute. Then just pass the crystal over incense or over sage. And if you don't have any of that, you could put it in your hands and you can intently talk to it in your mind, asking it to do a job for you tonight. Breathe onto it. Clearing it from any other energy and giving it your energy.
Is it okay if it's not raw? Like,
Of course. Yeah. It could be
like,
chiseled. Yeah. Yeah. You're consecrating it as long as it's not plastic. If it's a real, you know, you want it to have natural, organic.
does it have to be clear quartz?
No.
Okay, so then I'm going to use this one.
I have a question, Marley.
Uh-huh.
I was so do you know what's the Maharat? The Maharat? Do you know what is that?
No, I'm waiting for you to tell me.
So the Maharat, so I was going to sage some stuff the other day myself, and I was told that the Maharat, that is, it comes from the universal law, is the one to protect, like it's a protection, like a deep protection that it covers the 12 points of our energies points. Because with sage and other herbs or incenses, it can it is not 100% that some parts of those 12 points can stay open, and then the energies can come through those opening spaces, because sage doesn't cover everything. So I just want to ask you, if you are aware of the Maharat. So I need to find more information about it. I'm learning other things beside this, so I just wanted to ask you if you knew what it is that. What is that?
No, I don't.
It's more from the quantum field. So.
Mm. No idea. I mean, I didn't read anything about it in Munay-Ki.
Yeah, no, it's not about Munay-Ki. It's in general.
Okay.
It's more like it's more universal. Like it's the quantum. Like.
Well, that sounds very interesting. And if you're going to take a course on it, let me know. I'd love to learn.
Yes, I'll be learning those things soon, like more deep. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Everybody has their stone already set? Okay, good. You can put it down. We're not going to use it right now, but I wanted to get that done. And when we go into the third part, I'll give you guys a break, okay? If you need a break before, just let me know. Okay. So activating a pi stone is almost the same as activating a crystal. So how to work with a pi stone. So tonight, even though we don't have a pi stone, we're going to be working with our crystal. The pi stone, obviously, because it is another like part of you connected to the universe, is really the one that we need to be using as Munay-Ki practitioners. But tonight we're not Munay-Ki practitioners. Tonight we're being introduced to it. So it's quite okay to do it this way. Okay. So with the pi stone, thank you. With the pi stone, we would be blowing through it, through that center. And with a crystal, we would be blowing into it and then around it. In the pi stone, the Quero often blow their breath through the pi stone or any sacred item during a rite of transmission. If you don't have a pi stone or a sacred item, you could also blow your breath over the mesa, which is the altar that you have in front of you. It connects our finest energies with the great spirit and the natural world. So what does that mean? It connects us to the universe. It connects us to our inner strength. It acknowledges the three worlds, upper world, middle world, and lower world. And it acknowledges the three ways of being, having the strength of the physical body, the will and intellect of the mind, and Munay, the love of and compassion of the heart. So these are Quero people's beliefs that we connect to the universe and us, our inner universe, as well as our outer universe with our breath. That when on the second breath, we are acknowledging that there is upper, middle, and lower worlds. And in the third breath, we are acknowledging that we have the strength of the physical body, the intellect of humanity, and that we have love. Does that make sense, everybody? A mesa is an altar that is used shamanically for healing and connection with the natural world. And it can look like anything, whatever works for you. The curanderos, or shamans of the northern coastal region of Peru, are shamanic folk healers with roots dating back to the ancient Chavin culture. And then there's the Incas, approximately 900 before Christ. The layout of a curandero's mesa in the northern coastal traditions usually consists of a manta cloth laid on the ground, sometimes a table, with an assemblage of sacred artifacts arranged on top of it. These artifacts act as tools for the curandero's use to conduct healing on others, assist in divination, and commune with the unseen world of spirit. The assemblage of these objects is very personal, and it's in accordance of the person, the curandero's own spiritual guidance and training. The mesa really is the way that you would do your own altar. So just like your altar is different than mine and everybody else's, so is the mesa. So here are some.
Share the picture that you had before, the description of the mesa.
Yeah,
that's the quinto. That's called the quinto. The three leaves. The one before that one.
Uh-huh.
See the house holding? Those are the 3 coca leaves, and that's the quinto. That's the way how you put it in here, and then you pray. You made a prayer for yourself, and you blow it 3 times. That's the quinto. The way how you hold it too. That's the way to be held. So, just wanted to share it.
Thank you. Okay, so you see how they have it open, and this one has it open, and this one has it closed. This is a closed one. Open. And yet this one's got closed ones too in here. Notice everything that's there. You know, they have cards, they have flowers, they have statues. It's whatever you want it to be. Whatever works for you. Mesa as a closed bundle. Now this is what the healer priests of the Quechua people really work with. These are from the highlands of the Andes Mountains in Peru. And the Quechua are direct descendants of the Incas, like I mentioned before. Unlike the open mesa of the northern curanderos, the Quechua Pacocuna, also called Pacos, operate their rites with the mesa as a closed bundle. Now think of it like they have to have a closed bundle because they move around, and they would lose it if they were moving. If you know they need a closed, that's their little briefcase where they keep all of their important spiritual stuff to put in their mesa. So they never open it. They keep it closed, and they know what's in there, and it's important to them. And they could have one kuya, which is one of these bundled objects, or they could have 3. They carry objects that they find in the mountains that are that they consider that are important, that it's part of their path. They also carry objects that come to them directly from other dimensions, that when they take a journey and they see that, for example, a flower in the journey, or they see a rock in the journey, or they see something, and then they come across it in real life, they bring that into their Paco, in their puja. And also those objects that are given to them by another shaman. Each puja is bundled depending on the type or style of healing that is being performed on the client. So even though if they might have one puja or 3 pujas, they might create one just specifically for you, for the client that they're going to go see. Now, there are 3 different campos, 3 different. If you had an open altar, an open mesa, you would make it into 3 different places, like placemats. On the left, it's called the Campo Ganadero, and that part on the left works with dispatching and releasing dense energies. So for clients who come forward to you and are feeling ill, are feeling like they're stuck, or feeling like they need to release something, your packet, your puja of the left part will be for them. In the middle, called the Campo Medio, the puja it works with balance, for balance and integration. So if you recognize that this person's chakras are not working together, or there's imbalance in their life, and you need to integrate maybe the masculine and feminine energy but more, then you would go into the middle Campo Medio, and that's where your puja would be. And then in the right is Campo Justicerio. And this is the one to raise the energy, to bring good fortune, to bring positivity into your life, to bring joy, for people whose energies are pretty balanced and they just want to bring more beautiful energy and more of what they're living in their lives, and that's in your right. It's also for people who are being judged uh, or having problems with the law. That they need to be like there needs to be justice for that person. Okay. All right, so now we're going to talk about the archetypes. Okay, now the descriptions of the archetypes that I'm going to provide you here tonight are the ones that Dr. Alberto Villolda provides also. However, even though I'm going to teach you the archetypes, everybody develops their own relationship with these archetypes. And your experience with these animals and spirits is everything. So what, for example, all of you know that I have a connection to dragons, right? And my connection to my dragon could be very different than your connection to your dragon, or you might have no connection to a dragon. And that's okay. Everybody gets to have their own experience. With these archetypes, it's the same. The 4 power animals, and then we'll talk about the 3 spirits, are the 4 power animals are the great serpent, that's in the south, and we begin in the south with Munay-Ki. Then mother jaguar in the west, hummingbird in the north, and the great eagle in the east. So the serpent. There's been so many legends throughout history and about the serpent, and it is connected to the feminine energy. It is connected to fertility. It is connected to even into the creation, his stories in a lot of different. I mean, it's in the Bible. It's in the Native American stories. It's in a lot of creation stories. The serpent teaches us how to shed the old ways and habits of the past as we grow into higher spiritual ground. Just like the snake sheds her skin to grow bigger, we should learn to shed our old ways and our bad habits and our past habits so that we can grow and learn from a new era and have new ways, new habits, create new ways for ourselves. The serpent is also the guardian of sacred places, like our womb, and the keeper of hidden knowledge. It is why it is so connected to the feminine aspect, because women have that hidden knowledge that the masculine is not born with physically. Now the jaguar. The jaguar would be in the west. Mother jaguar. She teaches us how to move without fear and how to trust our personal instincts. Think of the jaguar being so instinctive. They have no fear. They don't have any enemies. Jaguars asks us to go within, to release our fears, to heal our emotions, and awaken our inner sight. Jaguar medicine will guide us into the underworld where the secrets of life and creation are found. In the north, we find the hummingbird. The hummingbird teaches us that we are not limited. Think about the hummingbird. This surpasses the natural law of flying. It could stay in the same spot, and that is like supposed to be impossible, and yet they can do it. So it shows us that we are not limited to what we think we are. that there is so much more. There's always a possibility that we can see things from other people's perspectives and a lot of different perspectives. And it helps us to expand our perceptions. The hummingbird serves to remind us of the beauty and the wonder of the world. While their speed and sound may sometimes startle us, they help pull our attention out of the mundane so that we can acknowledge and appreciate the beauty of creation. The hummingbird is also connected to being in between two worlds. Because they're able to fly and stay in the same spot, it is believed that they can be in both worlds, the spirit world and the earth world, at the same time. So with the guidance of the hummingbird is the medicine to connect us to our ancestors, to connect us to spirit and to the spirit world.
Can I share something about that today?
Yeah.
I went to a place to go with my mom. She had her first colonic today, and the whole place was full of hummingbirds everywhere. Hummingbirds everywhere. The bathroom, the walls, different parts of the place, and I was very impacted by how many hummingbirds were in that clinic. It's like a holistic clinic. And now you're mentioning, so that's it. Just want to say that.
Wow. So she's probably very much into being in both worlds, in both realms. You know, she probably connects to the spirit world very easily.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. The owners of the clinic, yes. It looks like so. Yeah.
And then is the east, the eagle, the great eagle. And in Munay-Ki, we can call it the great eagle or the condor. The eagle is a sacred messenger carrying our prayers to the Creator and returning to us with the gifts and the visions for the people. So as a shaman, you can ask the sacred eagle, the great eagle, to carry a prayer, to carry a message. And when you see the eagle come back, it comes back with a story, it comes back with a vision, it comes back with a medicine, it comes back with a gift, so that you can give that to your client. Eagle teaches us to rise above our limitations, just like hummingbird does, and view our lives and our experiences from the perspective of great spirit. The difference between hummingbird and eagle is that hummingbird teaches us to look at all different perspectives, while eagle brings us closer to the great spirit, to the creator, to source, and how connected we can be to the idea of being one with great spirit, flying tip to tip, wing tip to tip with the great spirit, being the eagle, being the great spirit, and you being another eagle and flying together and being tip to tip with them. Eagle shows us how to accept what comes our way and see everything as a gift from the great spirit. This is also a medicine for those who feel lost or feel like they're being cheated on in their lives. Oftentimes, the eagle will come to have the person recognize that even though they feel like things are not going well for them, what's coming is much better. And it is a gift from the great spirit, from source, that they're going through this because it's a challenge for them. It's a lesson. It's an evolution for them. It helps them to move forward to the next step so that they can have what they came to have in this world. So the eagle comes to help us in that sense. Okay, so now we're going to move into the spirit, the last three. even though the first four you're going to use to open the four directions when we do the Munay-Ki tonight, the Munay-Ki ceremony tonight, we're not going to use these three that I'm going to teach you now, but these three are important because they are, if you were to do Munay-Ki, they do come into play in other rites. Huascar, Lord of Life, Lord of Death. The Pachacuti Inca chief had two sons, and Huascar was one of them. He was the keeper of medicine teaching, and he had a brother, and his brother talked to the Spanish people and got him killed. The Huascar got him killed. Huascar became the harmonizing principle of the lower world, the chaotic dark place of all creative potential. See what lower world means for them is a chaotic dark place, a place where there is no harmony, yet it is the foundation of creativity. Because where there's chaos, where there is confusion, your creative potential starts to grow. Where there is a need, your creative joy, your creative flow begins, because you need to do something out of it. So they see the chaotic dark place of the lower world as necessary in order for us to be able to bring our juices of creativity flowing. The Huascar, is the renewer of the earth, and our own personal need of renewing our own earth, fields that are fallow, and places that need aerating. What that means is our own earth, meaning us, our body, our physical body is what they're talking about. So those places in ourselves, those shadow sides, that's what he works on. The gift of Huascar is to harmonize our relationships. And he does that by having us recognize our own shadows so that we can see it face to face, heal it, and then our relationships will be better because of it. He was traditionally seen as the keeper of the medicine teachings, and presiding in the lower world, he's often seen as a bear or a shaman wearing a bear skin. So if any of you have ever had a dream with a bear, or you have a bear as a spirit animal, this can be part of some of what it means. The next one is called the Quetzalcoatl. The Quetzal means beautiful jungle bird, and Coatl means serpent or reptile. It's feathered, it's winged, and it is a snake. It's a serpent. It's a serpent that can fly. Quetzalcoatl is a mythological being. It organizes the middle world. It brings irrigation, medicine plants, and stonework. It walked the Americas, brought stability, music, dance, flutes, drums. Though it has been lost in this culture, we can call on it individually, and it organizes your relationship with Earth, with the middle world. When you come into relationship with the Quetzalcoatl, you don't have to micromanage your life. The Quetzalcoatl, winged serpent with a beautiful, because it has feathers, but it's also, and it also has wings, but it also has scales, and it has a face of a snake, and it has feathers in its tail. If you are able to recognize it, to see it, to visualize it, to have a relationship with a Quetzalcoatl. Quetzalcoatl was very important in the Inca world, in the Americas, and in Peru, and it showed it showed whatever it is in our lives that is not necessary for us to work on. Whatever it is in our lives that we can do away with, and like it said, to not micromanage your life, to not have control of everything, to bring joy with music, to, yeah, pretty much, flutes, dance, drums, music. Does that make sense? Huascar, the lower world, Quetzalcoatl, the middle world. The worship of a feathered serpent is first documented in Teotihuacan in the 1st century before Christ. The Incas believed that the arts of irrigation, medicine plants, and stonework were gifts of the Quetzalcoatl. Presiding in the middle world, Quetzalcoatl is most often seen as a winged serpent or a dragon. And then it's the last one, Pachacuti. This one assists in connecting you with the upper world and the time to come. So we had the lower world, we had the middle world, and now we're the upper world, Pachacuti. He is the Inca king who was given the prophecy that the world was turning over, coming of the Spanish, the keeper of the possibilities, organizing principle of the upper world. He embodies the concept of circular time, stepping outside of linear time, makes time stand still. He brings order, heavenly order. Coming into relationship with Pachacuti allows us to recognize what can be changed and changing. Pachacuti was the 9th Sapa Inca. In Quechua Pachacuti, his name means he who overturns space and time. He is linked to the origin of the Inti sun cult and created the Incan Empire. Many archaeologists believe Machu Picchu was his summer estate. Presiding in the upper world, Pachacuti is most often seen as an angelic figure or as a being of pure light. He assists in connecting us with time to come on the upper world. Okay, so we are ready for section 3, and I promised you I would give you a break, because now what I'm going to teach you next is how to open your own personal space, how to open the sacred space with the 4 directions, and then we're going to do the initiation. So, give you a break? All right. How long do you want? 10 minutes? 5? 5? Do you want more? You tell me. 5, Sally? Okay. All right. All right. So it is, what time is it?
8:30.
All right. So 8:35 then.
Okay. 8:36. No, it's 8:31.
We have returned from our break. Are there any questions on what we've covered so far? Okay. I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to go into part 3. So in this section, you're going to learn this is the fire ceremony preparation, and you're going to learn how to protect yourself with personal sacred space. So we call it personal sacred space in Munay-Ki. And then sacred medicine space is when we open the 4 corners, the quarters, okay? And then how to prepare a fire ceremony. Okay. So why do we want to become initiated? It can help you transform your life from scarcity to grace and abundance. It helps you navigate spiritual changes that have happened since the wake of 2012. It helps create conscious, awake human beings that can help bring in the new earth. It can help anyone who works with spirit or energy develop their craft and practice on a deeper level. Helps you along your personal healing journey and transformation. And it helps to guard you from disease that is picked up vibrationally or energetically. What I can expect to experience as I receive the Munay-Ki. Who would like to read this for me? So it's not my voice only.
I could.
Thank you.
These rites are the rites of the shaman's path of descendants of the Inca, the indigenous peoples of the holy mountains of the Andes in Peru. The rites are received as seeds in the energetic architecture of the luminous body that surrounds the physical body. The freer the luminous field is from the dense energy of past wounding and trauma, tension, and disease, the more rapidly the seeds of the rites will grow. As we integrate the rites into our luminous architecture, our awareness of the areas where we are most in need of healing may become more evident. Our healing journey will accelerate. As the gift of the rites are developed, every action and interaction will be informed by them. If we stepped away from alignment with our newly organizing self, the rites of the Munay-Ki will quickly reflect reminders in our day-to-day experience to return to a positive relationship. Oof, I love it. Love it.
Thank you. So what did you all get from this slide? What do you understand? What did you get? What came up for you? No? You just, you're good?
Well, I can share what it comes
Sure.
from. So,
Sure.
so the more we just let go of this, everything that it gets heavy in our body, right? Like I've been experiencing even foods, the processed foods, even anything that makes our bodies so heavy, because as we see ourselves in a mass, but actually we're like a frequency that we only our brains are, as we're so dense with have everything holding us in the space or in gravity. So, but the lighter we shed those like foods and trauma or um, lower energies, then we can see more the luminescence body. That's why they is my understanding about this.
Good.
Examples of that.
That's a part of it. Anybody else? No. Okay. So first we're going to go into learning what personal sacred space looks like and how to do it. Move this out of the way. So personal sacred space it can be first before, hold on, the screen sharing is paused. I don't know why. Is it? Okay, good. So I'm going to read this and then I'll explain it. And there are 3 slides on personal sacred space. And then we're going to do personal sacred space ourselves. So practice it so that it's already done before we do the initiation. So we want to use this part of the ceremony sacredly, with the greatest respect. we want to do it like if it was with not a requirement per se, but an intention of love towards ourselves. It's gonna be, you're gonna find that it's easy to do, and that your energy feels right, and it feels like you're holding in love. I'm gonna show it to you in a moment. Let me go to the others. So pretty much this is how to do it. Okay, so I'm gonna read it to you, and then we're gonna do it. First, we're gonna imagine the 8th chakra, which is above our heads, like a small radiant sun above us. And with our imagination, we're gonna picture the orb like it's the color of the sun, a golden yellow light, and it's shimmering, and it's rippling, and it's bathing us with a vibrant yellow and orange color. So this sun is sending us light. We're imagining that. And then we're going to bring our hands over our chest into prayer pose. And then we're going to slowly raise our hands and put it back in prayer pose over our heads. And then we're going to sense our fingertips entering the globe of the 8th chakra. So our fingertips are going in to our 8th chakra. And we're going to feel there the energy with our hands together in prayer position. And we're going to get into that sun. We're going to feel that sun opening into us. And then we're going to slowly open our hands. We're going to open them, and we're going to feel the orb between our hands. And then we're going to stretch it like if you had gum. And we're going to turn our palms outwards, and we're going to extend our arms around, bringing them down all the way. And it says here to the chair, but I bring them down to my feet, all the way down. We're creating that sunlight all around me, experiencing that sunlight around me. And as I'm doing this, where I am concentrating on my breathing, I'm following the inhalation and the exhale as well, and I am exploring being inside this orb of and I want you to, now that we're going to do it together, I want you to feel what it feels like in there, the warmth, the safety, and what do you get from it? Okay, so those are the steps of opening sacred space. And once we are satisfied with how we feel, we we're gonna bring the hands up again, all the way up and back to the head. Now, if we do that, we're closing it again. So before we do, hold on, let me stop sharing a bit. This last part is when we're done and we want to close it. So we're going to close it all the way to our feet, and we're going to remain with it. And then we're going to open medicine space, the 4 quadrants. When we're done with everything tonight, then we're going to go down to our feet and bring it back up and put our 8th chakra back to its place. So this last part where it's said to bring our hands up and bring them back, that's at the end. We could do this if we're just opening and closing sacred space just to feel within and to feel safe. Like, let's say tonight, before you go to bed, you do the prayer position, you come up into the 8th chakra, you feel the globe, you stretch it, bring it around your body all the way to the feet. Feel within there, meditate within that personal space. And then when you're ready, you bring it back up until you're back in the 8th chakra and close it, come back to prayer position. But in tonight's tonight, what we're going to do is we're going to bring it down to our feet, and we're not going to bring it back up until the very, very end. So we are going to experience everything within our personal space closed. Does that make sense? Okay. So let's open personal space, and let's not close it. Let's not bring it back up. We're just going to go all the way down to our feet and just bask in it. Okay. All right. So close your eyes and breathe. Put your hands in prayer position and breathe. Feel your breath coming in and out. And bring your hands in prayer position all the way up over your head. Feel the 8th chakra there. Feel the ball of sunlight. See it coming down over your body in a yellow, golden, luminous light in waves, bringing you energy and safety, and holding it like an orb over your head. Stretch it over your head, and then continue stretching it with palms outstretched around your body, down your shoulders, down your waist, all the way down to your toes or to your chair, and close there. And bring your palms to prayer position, and in prayer position, you are now within your personal space, sacred space, inside the golden orb, in your safety net, in your orb. Feel, how does it feel for you? What are the thoughts that come through? What are the physical sensations? And you can open your eyes when you're ready. You have now in personal, Munay-Ki, personal space. Okay, so this is the first step. Then we're going to open the 4 directions. We're going to do it together and turn on the candle. Does everybody have a candle? Okay. So when we do the first part, which is facing the south, we turn on the candle. But we can turn on the candle first. We can do that first. We can turn on the candle first. That way we don't have to stop. I had a second candle in case that one didn't work. That one didn't work. So I have a second one. So I have my little altar already. Oh, I don't know if you can see it. So it has the water, it has the fire, and it has the incense for the air. I have an angel in the middle, it's a crystal, and for earth I have crystals too. So if you have an altar, you can be facing the altar, or when we do sacred space, the Munay-Ki way is to first hold your hands together in prayer position, then put one hand over your heart and the other hand goes outward towards the direction that you're facing. So we are physically going to, you can do it in your chair, you can do it standing up, but we are physically going to be moving to each direction. I am not going to, because I want you to hear my voice. And if I'm facing back there, you're not going to be able to hear me. But I'll tell you, I'll give you the instructions to face it. So it'll be holding your heart and holding and asking the connection with that direction with the other hand stretched out as I am calling in the 4 spirit animals. Then we're going to call in Pachamama. Pachamama is the goddess of earth. It's earth itself. It's Gaia. And we're calling her in because she is part of the Quero Nation's belief system, and she is. We're going to put our hands on the floor, or the closest we can to the floor, but flat hands on the floor when we call her in. And when we call the sun, the moon, the cosmic brothers and sisters, our arms are stretched out to the heavens, thanking them. And we always end with prayer position every time, in every 4 corners, after Pachamama and after calling in the sun gods. Okay? In this modality, we don't have to call in anything towards the center where we are, as we are the center. However, you can call in your spirit guides to you, to be next to you, and you can do so in your own voice. Okay? Are you ready to call in the 4 quarters? Okay, I'm going to share my screen. This person's part here, this we're going to do at the end. It's so that we can close our personal space. Okay, so opening sacred medicine space. The arm positions to call in the first 4 directions are 1 hand over your heart, 1 arm extended out with palm facing toward the direction you're calling. After you receive their presence, you're going to place both palms together in prayer mudra in gratitude. We're going to open sacred space in this order. First, we're going to do the south. We're going to be looking at the south, then the west, then the north, then the east. Then we're going to call in Pachamama, which is with both hands flat on the floor. And then we're going to call in Father, Son, and Mother Moon. After opening your personal space, you turn first to the south. You call in the Great Serpent. Place 1 palm over your heart and the other extended arm out. Your palm facing toward the south, calling her in. This is the prayer that I'm going to use to call her in. And so this goes through all of them. Okay, so we are ready. Breathe in, breathe out. If your space has not been saged, I would recommend you do it now, and I'll wait for you. I can do some more saging. There's never enough. Honey, why don't you shower and put on your pajamas? Okay, so begin with your prayer mudra. Face the south. 1 hand over your heart, and the other hand stretched out. Serpent, mother of the waters, archetype of the healer through many cultures. the one who teaches us to shed our personal past, the way that she sheds her skin. Primary life force, the one who dives deep, deep, who knows the way into the deepest places inside ourselves. The one who walks with beauty on the belly of the mother, the one who knows the way back to the garden, the place of innocence. Feel her wise presence, feel her come through, feel the presence of the being that can show you the way into your deepest place of yourself. The entity that can help you to shed what doesn't work for you anymore. And once you feel her presence, bring your hand back into your heart and show your gratitude. And you can do that by nodding your head and then go back to your prayer position and feel her in. So now you're going to turn to the west, place one hand over your heart, one hand stretched out, the palm stretched out to the west to call in Mother Jaguar. Jaguar, Mother Sister Jaguar, who knows the way across the rainbow bridge to the world of mystery, the one who swallows the dying sun, teaching us to step beyond fear, violence, and death. The archetypal connection to the life force of the jungle, everything that is green, steward of the life force. Luminous warrior who has no enemies in this world or the next. You who represent the life and death principle and renewal, come forth. Feel her protective presence. Feel her come through. Just like a mother jaguar protects her cubs, she comes with protection to you. And when you feel her life-giving waters, show her your gratitude and place your hands back into prayer position. Now we're going to turn to the north to call in Hummingbird. One hand over your heart and one hand stretches out, calling her forth. Ancient ones and Hummingbird, the place of the ancestors, grandmothers and grandfathers, ancient memories, ancient wisdom, the ones who have stepped outside of time but slipped through the veils to help us remember the ancient ways, the way of the hummingbird, who drinks directly from the nectar of life, not built for flight, yet undertakes and accomplishes the impossible journey. Feel her presence, the hummingbird's presence, coming forth with your grandmothers and grandfathers, the blessed ones, the loving ones, the healed ancestors that come forth to help you. The ancient memories and that ancient wisdom coming forth. Feel the presence and thank them in gratitude. Then place your hands back into prayer mudra. And now we turn to the east to call in the great condor or eagle. One hand over your heart and the other hand stretched out. Condor or eagle, the great archetype of the east, the place of the rising sun, the place of our becoming, principle of seeing from a high perspective, vision of clarity and beauty. The great wings of the condor hold the heart, teaches us to see with the eyes of the heart. the one who pushes us out of the nest to spread our own wings so that we may always fly wing to wing with the Great Spirit. And feel the presence of the great eagle and the oneness to spirit. In gratitude, we thank thee. And then place your hands back into prayer mudra once you feel that presence of the eagle. And now you're going to place your hands flat on the floor to call in Pachamama. Pachamama, Mother Earth, we thank you for your blessings. We thank you for all you've given us. Without you, we wouldn't be here. We thank you for your abundance. Blessed be. Now feel her grounding presence as the ancient living earth. And when you do feel her, bring your hands back to the prayer mudra and show your gratitude. Thank you, Pachamama, for being here. Open your arms to the heavens to call in your cosmic brothers and sisters. We're calling in our cosmic brothers and sisters, the sun, the great sun, the moon, the stars. We thank you for watching over us, for connecting us, for bringing us wisdom. Thank you. And connect to them and feel their peaceful ways that surround you and enter your being. And then show your gratitude. Thank you for being here. And place your hands back into prayer position. We have now opened sacred space. And we have our fire ceremony, our candle already lit. Then you can bring it over in front of you, your candle. I'm going to tell you a little bit of the fire ceremony. You can open your eyes before we go to the next step. We've done 2 of 3 steps today already of the transmission of the healer's rite. So we've already opened sacred space and personal space. And now I want you to learn about the fire ceremony so that we can do the last part of it. So the fire ceremony is the way that we connect the seed that you're going to receive today in your initiation and that you grow it. Of course, the candle will connect us with the fire element, and of course, you can do it also with a cauldron, or you can do it with a real fire pit. Whatever works for you, whatever you can do. But it's going to increase your connection to the spiritual dimension and the 4 elements. So the preparation is simple. You're just gonna open sacred space that we just did. We're gonna light a candle. And of course, you can light a fire too outside. And then, of course, open your own sacred space. And then I want you to connect to the fire so that you have a connection to it. A few moments of connection. Fire purifies. So we're going to connect with the healer's rite now. The healer's rite is going to connect us to our ancestors, our benevolent ancestors. It's going to connect us to the wealthy ancestors so that our finances can grow. It's going to connect us to our poor ancestors so our humility can grow. It's going to connect us to our spiritual ancestors so that we can connect even stronger spiritually. It's going to connect us to the ones that are healed, were healed when they passed away, and that can bring their wisdom to you. So you want to connect to that right now as you look at the light, at the flame. So now I want you to take your hands and place it above the flame where you feel some of the warmth. And I want you to bring that warmth to you. Connect to it, bringing that warmth to you. Then I want you to bring that warmth over to your third eye. Bring it to your heart chakra. And bring it to your sacral and solar plexus, your belly. And lastly, we're going to take it and we're going to put it over our heads in our crown. All of this you can read later. It talks about how to do a fire ceremony after you've done this initiation. For the next 2 weeks, you are going to you turn on a candle and you're going to do this we just did of putting the warmth of the fire into those 4 chakras with the intention of growing the seed that you're going to put into your luminous field tonight in the healer's rite. So this is important to do as much as possible so that you can remember to grow it. So that's why the fire ceremony is so important. Okay, so we're going to perform now the initiation to the healer's rite. I want to know if Connie is here, if everybody is available for this before we begin. I'll make sure that everybody's here because this is the initiation now. What you're going to need for the initiation is your breath.
I don't think that's yours. Get that here.
Your
That is
stone.
not yours.
You need your stone.
That.
You need your breath.
Where's
And you need your candle. That's it. Okay? So we're going to wait so everybody's ready. I'm going to pause the recording until we're ready.
So we have our crystal, our candle, our breath.
And our breath. Yeah, that's all you need for this, right? That's all you need. We're going to be using the crystal and our breath. And then at the end, we're going to place the crystal over the fire to get rid of any energies that are there, pretty much. And we're going to bring in the fire again into our 3 chakras that we're going to be using for the healers, right? We're going to be using the heart chakra, the solar plexus, and the third eye. So I don't have to share my screen for the rest of it because we can do it together, but I want to just show you so that I'm going to give this to you.
What? That it's like this picture thing?
It's going to give you how to do it, how to open personal protection space, sacred medicine space. It's going to tell you
One of the things you're studying.
how to do it.
Bed.
At first with solar plexus. Connie, you're not muted. First with the solar plexus, then the heart, then the third eye. And then we work with the hands, breathing into the hands and bringing in with the fire into those 3 chakras. So I'm just going to go really fast through it because I don't want to do it with the PDF. I want to do it with you. So pretty much what we're going to do is if you have a stone, you're going to breathe on the stone. Otherwise, you would breathe on your mesa, on your altar. And it would be a big breath. It would 3 times. Okay. The first 3 breaths connect with your own belly and the power to manifest and connect to your python or your stone to this power. So when you are breathing onto the stone, those 3 breaths, you breathe onto the stone and then you're going to put it on your solar plexus, you are thinking about your power to manifest, your strength, your power. That's what you're doing in that moment. And then we're going to do that again. We're going to bring back the stone. We're going to breathe 3 times. And then we're going to connect with our heart and we're going to connect with the power of love, of love and compassion. And then the last 3 breaths onto the stone are going to connect you to the third eye, which is the power of vision and clarity. So we're going to do it together. And I'm just going to have you breathe onto it. Put your hand, one hand will stay in your heart and the other hand will go to your solar plexus for about 10 seconds. And then we're going to put our hands together in prayer position and blow again 3 times. One hand will hold the stone, the other hand will stay on the heart. And actually, they're both going to be in the heart for the second time. For the third time, when we blow 3 times, one hand will stay in the heart and the other hand will go to the third eye. Okay. And then we're going to come back to prayer position. And then we're going to clean the stone on the fire, put it aside, and bring the fire to our 3 chakras. First the solar plexus, then the heart, then the third eye. And then we put our hands over the flame and we breathe on them to get rid of that energy. I do recommend that you wash your hands after. Okay, so that's pretty much what we're going to do. Let me see. So here it tells you exactly how to do it. So at home, you can do it. And then we're going to close our own personal sacred space, bringing back to the 8th chakra, our personal space. Okay, and we're going to thank heaven and earth, and it's it. That's pretty much what we're going to do. Yeah, the last thing is to pass the stone over the flame. Okay, are you ready? Initiation. All right, we stop sharing. Okay, stone in my hand. placing them in prayer position. Considering what I'm going to do next is I'm going to ask the stone to connect me to my power of manifestation. And I'm going to breathe onto the stone 3 times. And if I don't have the stone, I'm going to breathe over my altar. Powerful breaths. 1, 2, 3. One hand over your heart, your stone hand over your solar plexus. Connect. See the connection between the heart and the solar plexus, like a cord. And see your solar plexus shine. And see the power within you. Recognize you can manifest anything in this world. Bring the stone back to your prayer position, the stone between your hands. We're going to connect to our heart next. So we're going to think about the people we love, the things we love to do, the connection of love we have with ourselves. And now we're going to breathe 3 powerful breaths into the stone. Both hands, the hand of the stone first and the other hand over that one. Connect to your heart chakra, the loving being that you are. The compassion you feel for others. The gift you are to the world. The joy you feel when serving others. Place your hands together, stone in between your hands in prayer mudra. Next, we're going to connect to the third eye. You're going to envision a cord from your third eye to your heart, and from your heart to your solar plexus. Envision the connection, luminous, beautiful, golden yellow, gold and shiny. And this time we're going to connect to our vision, our inner vision of ourselves and our inner vision of seeing the spirit world, of becoming more conscious beings. Place the stone over your third eye. Oh wait, breathe into the stone first. And 3. And your energy has gone into the stone. Place your stone over the third eye and the other hand over your heart. And feel the connection. Open up to your psychic powers. Now place your stone back in prayer mudra between both hands. Place your stone aside and facing your candle. Feel the warmth of your candle in your hands and bring it towards your solar plexus. The warmth towards your solar plexus. Think of that fire element, bringing in purity, bringing in power into your solar plexus for manifestation. All that power that you might have not known you had, that you have well within you, bring it in with the help of this element of fire. And place your hands back on the fire, over the fire where you feel the warmth. And grab it and place it over your heart. Bring it to your heart. Into your heart. Recognize the loving being that you are. The love that you can bring to the world, to any relationship, present and future, and past. Thank you. And place your hands over the flame where you feel the warmth of the flame. And then when you are ready, begin to bring it, seep it through to the third eye. Think of all the clarity and focus and abilities and skills and seeing through the veil. And place your hands over the fire. Again, warmth. Think of that connection between the third eye, the heart, and the solar plexus. Bringing you the power of seeing, bringing you the power of love, and bringing you the power of manifestation. We want to thank the sun, the moon, the creators. We want to thank our brothers and sisters with our arms raised up in the heavens. Thank you for being present, for being here and bringing us your peace. And placing our hands down flat on the floor, we want to thank Pachamama, Earth, the living Earth, that without you, we wouldn't be here. Thank you for your abundance. Thank you for being here tonight and grounding us. And facing the east, one hand over your, both hands over your heart this time. Facing the east, great eagle, thank you for being present. Thank you for recognizing our worth, being one with the Creator. Thank you for being here. Facing the north, we thank the hummingbird for coming, for bringing in our ancestors, for letting us remember that there are no limits. Thank you for coming. Facing the east, we thank Mother Jaguar for her protection and for her beautiful energy that she brought into the circle tonight. Thank you for coming. And facing the south, we thank the great serpent for teaching us the ways of being rid of that which doesn't serve us. Thank you for coming. We thank the elements of fire, water, earth, and air for being present. And now our hands go down to our feet and we hold our energy field and we stretch it with our arms facing outward, coming up over our heads onto our 8th chakra, closing it. And we take our stone. We're just going to pass it over the fire and thank it for everything it's done for us tonight, and letting all the energies go away from it and being transmuted into love. And in order for us to be able to grow the seed that we just put in our third eye, on our heart, and on our solar plexus, what we need to do is work on manifestation, on love, and on seeing clarity, and utilizing fire by remembering to bring fire into these 3 chakras as much as possible, remembering why we're doing it, and allowing this seed to grow so that the healer's right can give you everything that it's meant to give you. And that is the conclusion of tonight's class. So I'm going to stop recording because I know there's going to be some words of some of you are going to want to share. So here we go. Good night to the ladies in replay. Oh, I want to say something. For the ladies in replay, I am going to do one night where everybody would have read the whole PDF, and then you would come to meet with me for half an hour and we can do this initiation together. So it'll be a day where Kim, Marissa, and Marsha, and any other ladies that wanted to do the initiation tonight and couldn't make it could do it with me, or all of you can do it together. And of you guys, if you're interested, there's those who are present and want to do it again, you're welcome to do it too. So just get together with a date and we'll do it. Bye-bye.